Greetings everyone. Welcome to Dr. Nguyen's YouTube channel. Today we're diving headfirst into a topic that's woven into the fabric of our everyday lives, yet still shrouded in mystery for many: the science of being transgender. This channel is dedicated to shedding light on important subjects like this, and today we're going to unravel the complexities and demystify the science behind being transgender. So ask yourself, are you truly familiar with what gender and transgender mean? Let's delve deeper. Firstly, we need to comprehend the fundamental concept of gender. It's a term often used interchangeably with sex, but they are not the same. Sex is biological. It's determined by our anatomy, chromosomes, and reproductive systems. Gender, on the other hand, is a social construct. It's how society expects us to think, look, and behave based on whether we're assigned male or female at birth. But here's the thing. Gender is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It's fluid. Some people identify with the gender they were assigned at birth, a term we refer to as cisgender. Others might not feel that their gender identity aligns with their biological sex. These individuals might identify as transgender. And there are those who may identify as non-binary, not strictly identifying as male or female. Our understanding of gender has evolved and continues to do so. In essence, gender is a colorful spectrum, not a black and white dichotomy. Remember, gender is not binary, it's a spectrum. Now comes the intriguing part: the science behind being transgender. Let's delve into the fascinating world of scientific research that provides insight into gender identity. It's a complex interplay of biology and psychology, and it's important to understand that it's not a matter of choice. Instead, it's about being true to one's identity. Research has shown that our brains play a significant role in determining our gender identity. Studies suggest that there are structural differences in the brains of individuals who identify as transgender. These differences are similar to the brain structures of the gender they identify with. This means a person assigned male at birth but identifying as female may have a brain structure more closely aligned with what is typically seen in cisgender females. But it's not just our brains. Genetics also play a role in gender identity. Although there is no single transgender gene, several genes have been identified that may influence gender identity. These genes affect hormone levels and how our bodies respond to them. Another critical aspect of the science behind being transgender is the concept of gender dysphoria. It's a psychological condition where a person feels a deep discomfort or distress because their gender identity doesn't match the sex they were assigned at birth. This is not something that someone chooses to experience. It's a profound and often painful reality that they must navigate. It is also worth noting that being transgender is recognized by reputable medical organizations, including the World Health Organization and the American Medical Association. They affirm that being transgender is not a mental disorder but a normal and positive variation of human diversity. In sum, the science behind being transgender is a blend of brain structure, genetics, and personal experience. It's about being true to oneself and embracing one's identity, even when it doesn't align with societal norms. Being transgender is not a phase or a fad, it's a facet of human diversity. So let's continue to learn, understand, and celebrate the rich tapestry of human experiences and identities. Despite the scientific facts, misconceptions abound. Let's address some common questions. First off, many people confuse being transgender with sexual orientation. It's important to understand that these are two distinct aspects of who we are. Being transgender is about one's gender identity, it's about who you are. On the other hand, sexual orientation is about who you are attracted to. A person can be transgender and be gay, straight, bisexual, or asexual. Another common misconception is that being transgender is a choice. This is not the case. Similar to how we don't choose our height or the color of our eyes, we don't choose our gender identity. It's a deeply ingrained part of who we are. Now let's address some frequently asked questions. One query that often pops up is, when do individuals realize they are transgender? There's no one-size-fits-all answer to this. Some may have a sense of it at a very young age, while others might not come to this understanding until later in life. Another question that arises is about the transitioning process. Transitioning is a personal journey, and it varies greatly. For some, it might involve medical interventions like hormone therapy or surgeries, but not everyone chooses or is able to pursue these paths. Transitioning might also involve changing one's name, pronouns, clothing, or appearance to better align with their gender identity. And then there's the question of, why can't transgender people just stay the way they are? It's important to understand that being authentic to oneself is a fundamental human need. For many transgender people, living in a body that doesn't match their gender identity can cause immense distress, often referred to as gender dysphoria. Transitioning is a way to alleviate this distress and live a happier, more authentic life. Lastly, is being transgender a mental disorder? Absolutely not. This is a damaging stereotype. Being transgender is a part of human diversity, and it's recognized as such by numerous reputable health organizations worldwide. Knowledge dispels fear, understanding leads to acceptance. Let's continue to learn, grow, and support each other in our shared human experience. Scene script. Understanding is the first step. Now, how can we support and stand with our transgender friends and family? One of the most fundamental ways to show support is by respecting an individual's pronouns. This means using the pronouns that a person identifies with, whether they be he, she, they, or something else entirely. It's a small gesture that can have a significant impact, affirming a person's identity and showing them that you see and respect who they are. Next, educate yourself. The transgender experience is not a monolith. It's a spectrum as diverse as humanity itself. Read books, watch documentaries, listen to podcasts, and engage with content created by and for the transgender community. This will help you gain a broader understanding of the issues they face and the strength and resilience they exhibit in overcoming them. Furthermore, it's important to challenge transphobia when you see it. This doesn't mean getting into heated arguments or confrontations, but rather standing up for what's right. If someone makes a hurtful comment or joke, don't laugh or stay silent. Speak up. Make it clear that prejudice and discrimination have no place in your presence. Supporting the transgender community also means advocating for their rights. This can involve anything from voting for politicians who pledge to protect transgender individuals, to supporting businesses that are inclusive and respectful of all gender identities. Remember, it's not enough to be passively non-discriminatory. We must be actively anti-discriminatory. This means not just avoiding harm, but actively working to create a safer, more inclusive world for all. Lastly, listen. Listen to the stories, the struggles, and the triumphs of transgender individuals. Amplify their voices without speaking over them. Their lived experiences are their own, and they are the ones best equipped to articulate their needs and aspirations. We all have a role to play in creating a society that respects and celebrates diversity. It starts with understanding, then progresses to support, advocacy, and active allyship. Let's not just coexist. Let's thrive together in a world where everyone is seen, heard, and respected for who they truly are. Inclusivity is not about tolerance. It's about respect and acceptance. As we wrap up, let's revisit the key points from today's discussion. We started with the basics, asking the question, what is gender? We saw how it's more than just a binary concept, how it's a spectrum that encompasses a wide range of identities. This led us to our second point, the science behind being transgender. We explored how gender identity is not simply a choice, but a deep-seated aspect of a person's identity, often rooted in one's biology. We then addressed some of the common misconceptions and questions surrounding the transgender community, debunking myths and providing facts. The most important takeaway is that every person's journey is unique, and it's crucial to respect and validate their experiences. Finally, we discussed ways to support and understand the transgender community. We highlighted the importance of empathy and acceptance, the power of the right language, and the impact of advocacy and allyship. It's about creating a safe space where everyone is welcomed and respected for who they are. In closing, it's important to remember that our understanding of gender, while constantly evolving, is still far from complete. It's a journey, not a destination. Let's keep learning, keep questioning, and keep growing in our understanding of each other. Remember, empathy and understanding are the cornerstones of a diverse and inclusive society. Thank you for joining us on this journey of understanding. Until next time, this is Dr. Nguyen signing off.